I decided, right, well, I'm not going to go back into an office. I'm going to build this little business.
Yeah.
And it was a survival thing, primarily, but I wanted to have the freedom. But I drew a line in the sand. I'm not going back there.
You know how they say there's a book in everyone? What if there was a business in everyone, even you? If you catch yourself wondering, could I sell this? Or you've dreamt about quitting your day job and doing your own thing, you're in the right place. You're listening to You Could Start a Business Doing That, the podcast for people who want to be their own boss, live a rich life, and set themselves free. With lifestyle entrepreneur Jody Nevid.
Hello and welcome to today's episode where we're going to be talking about how you can become an expert in your niche. If you are just getting started in business, or if you've launched and you want to know how you can become the go-to, then stick around because today's guest is going to talk to you about exactly how you can do it. She is, of course, Adelaide's #1 weight loss coach, Suzanne Ingleton. Welcome to the show, Suzanne.
Hello, Jody. This is so exciting. I'm really keen to give some information about how I got to where I am, and I just love what you're doing. Thank you.
I am super keen to unpack you once again.
Yes.
And this time we are going to be unpacking what you've done to build your business from 0 to 6 figures in just under 12 months. And now, only 18 months later, got yourself to a position where literally, was it today, the accountant said, thumbs up, she's ready to sell, and for quite a significant price point as well.
That's right. Couldn't believe it. So excited.
So if you want to know how to build an asset that you could sell in 18 months as a coach or a consultant, then this is the episode for you. So Suzanne, I always like to start off with asking about, in your own words, who you are, what you do, and why it matters.
Okay, so who am I? I am a mum of 2 beautiful adult children and who are in their 30s, love them to bits. And I've recently reconnected with the love of my life, and we are planning our retirement, hence the reason to sell what I've built.
Yeah.
What do I do? I'm an eating psychology coach. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a master NLP practitioner and timeline therapist. In a past life, I've always also been a personal trainer, meditation teacher, and a Reiki master. So I've got a whole heap of things that I do. The reason that I do what I do, I 2 reasons, I suppose. Firstly, it was about 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and suddenly discovered that I'd taken my health for granted. And that was the catalyst for change for me. And I really wanted to give something back to the amazing people that had helped me through that journey. I had no idea what that was going to be.
Yeah.
So through, my oncologist at the time said the best thing to do is to be fit and healthy, which I took him literally. As you know, I'm a very literal person.
You are a very literal person, and I think that is one of your superpowers, actually.
Yeah. So I became a personal trainer, and while I was doing that very successfully, clients would come to me, they'd want to lose weight, and they did so, and I got them fit and healthy, the best versions of themselves. But I don't know what happened. 6 to 12 months later, they would have put the weight back on. They'd stopped working with me, and they'd come back and go, Suzanne, I need some help. And so I couldn't really work out what that was, why that was. I just thought, okay, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But moving forwards and changing a little bit direction, learning more about the power of the mind, I discovered what the missing link was here in terms of weight loss. And it is actually the mind.
Yeah.
And so this is what I do is I help women to lose weight, but it's not just the physical weight, it's the emotional weight.
Yeah.
And stress is the biggest blocker to weight loss. And this is what I've learned over time, that when we let go of the emotional weight, the physical weight goes as well.
Yeah.
So I do what I do because I just want people to be the best versions of themselves, to appreciate their health and to live a life that they really have truly desired and dreamed of, rather than living in a food prison. It's just so sad what I hear with the clients that I work with, and I want to be able to leave that legacy. So so this is why I'm building it to a point where I will be able to still pass it on, but also live my dreams.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you said some pretty powerful stuff there about the food prison that so many of your clients feel trapped in, and the work that you do truly is transformational. As your business coach, I've got to see so many of the results and the testimonials that your clients have shared. And what's also really awesome is you've got to a point where you trust the process enough to know that it's not about you, but it's about someone else stepping in and being able to carry on that legacy whilst you, as the romantic heart that you are, can go off and retire with the love of your life.
Yes.
How exciting is that?
Oh, super excited. Never thought I would be in this position. But, it's through working with you and having a vision and having a purpose and intention that I've been able to get myself into this space.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Suzanne, this season of You Could Start a Business Doing That is all about getting started in business. And you mentioned a little bit about your reason for starting your business was because you wanted to give back. But when you think about your decision to do that as a business, what was the driver besides giving back for you to actually get into business for yourself, to become your own boss? Why did you want to do that?
I guess I wanted to have some freedom to start with, and I guess that's why I started my first business as a PT. And but I knew nothing about business. But I had some help, and unfortunately, I didn't do too well from a business perspective, and I had to let that go. Although I had wonderful clients and we got amazing results. Yeah. Then I came back into the corporate world and started working for, a larger company. And I was at that point doing some part-time work, and I had the opportunity to work from home. And I thought, wow, that'd be great. Get out of the office again. Because as a personal trainer, I was working outside. I used to run around in the park all day. It was just amazing. And then I was cooped up in an office. So I just went, oh my God, I hate this. Yeah. So I had an opportunity to work from home, and I thought that was an okay balance. Yeah. But then he didn't have enough work for me. So I was working on part-time half hours, and I just was forced to make a decision. Yeah. And I had this little business going on in the background, a little part-time business, and I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. But I decided, well, there's no way I'm going back into that corporate space anymore. I do not want to work in an office, and I wanted to have this creative license to do something that I felt passion for. And so I decided, right, well, I'm not going to go back into an office. I'm going to build this little business. Yeah. And it was a survival thing, primarily, but I wanted to have the freedom. But I drew a line in the sand. I'm not going back there. Yeah. I'm going to make it work here. And so I had, rather than having 2 feet, on the other side, I had to do both feet jumped right in.
Burn the bridges, as they say.
I burned my bridge. Oh, my God, scary as, but I did it.
You did. And I think that was right about the time when I met you, or maybe it was just after you'd burnt your bridges, but you were not making a lot of money in business. No. You were driven, you were determined, and you were ready to invest, but you just didn't have the know-how. So what would you say, looking back, were some of the things that were tripping you up? Why weren't you making the money originally?
Oh, I didn't have a sense for business. I didn't know, certainly wasn't charging enough money. I had no concept of that really. I was still working for $25 an hour. So I would do a consult for $60. That consult would go for 2 hours. So I was really, I had no time management skills, and, I just wasn't making anything. 5 to 10 clients a week. That wasn't going to, $30 an hour. It just wasn't going to make me anything.
It's not paying the bills.
No, it was not paying the bills, and I knew something had to change. Yeah. And so it's because I had no idea. Yeah. And I needed to get some expertise and some guidance on how to do it. Yeah. So I didn't know how.
And we can laugh about it, and the reason I do is because, number one, it's in the history. It's past now, and you've changed so much. You've grown so much in the last 18 months. Yeah. But where you were stuck is so common. I think especially women get stuck undercharging, over-servicing, leading with their heart, but not really knowing how to price themselves properly.
And I was doing lots of different things. Like I had a few things on the go.
Yes, you did.
That's right. So I sort of didn't, I was a bit scattered. My mind was scattered. I didn't know where to put my focus, and it just, wasn't working.
And, one of the first sessions we had, we talked about niching down, and you are the client that the client that of all the clients that I've worked with, you are the one who's done this the best, I think, because I could help you quit smoking. I could help you go over there. I could help you with your goals. I can help you as a personal trainer. I can help you with some weight loss. And when we talked about the thing that was driving you the most, it really was helping women get their health back on track. Yes. And one of the things you said that they struggled with the most was their weight. Yes. From your history. And I said, you know what? why don't we take all of these beautiful modalities and build them into this one amazing weight loss program? And would you be prepared to niche down and become Adelaide's #1 weight loss coach? And I've asked a lot of my clients if they would do that before, and most of them go, oh, I don't want to talk about weight loss, and oh, I don't feel good about that. But you were up for it.
Yeah.
So why were you up for it, and how did it feel to niche down?
Look, I'd had that experience, and I loved working with women and seeing, how they blossomed and how they could, have this sense of confidence and their own perceived sense of happiness when they lose the weight. So I knew that I could do it. I had success with it in the past, and I guess as health is one of my highest values, and I just wanted to help people to be happier and healthier, and I just knew I could do that because it can make such a massive difference and change to people's lives. So, yeah, I guess that's why.
And so your program was originally called 5 in 4, and we'll talk a little bit about the evolution of that program in a moment. But what we did was we took the skills that you can do, we packaged it up into one high-value program, which is one of the strategies I think is most important for people to do. How did you feel going out to market with that, like launching 5 in 4? Because you believed it was possible. You knew it was possible.
Yeah,
You'd helped people achieve it. But remember the price point that we had on it and your face of like, you want me to go. Talk to us a little bit about your initial price point and what it's grown and evolved to.
Yeah. So I guess you unpacked me and repacked me, and we created this program, and you said, okay, and we did a bit of a cost analysis on it, on all the different parts and the time components and things, and said, well, how about $750? And I went,
yeah.
I don't. What?
For those
Really?
listening, the expression on Suzanne's face is like, "Holy crap!" Shock.
That was so much money to me.
Yeah.
After only earning $30 an hour, scrimping and scraping, going through the checkouts with my calculator at the supermarket, like who would pay $750? I didn't even have that much money.
Yeah.
So this concept was just way outside of my scope. I was terrified.
Yeah.
But I trusted you, Jody. I knew that you knew what you were doing. And so again, I just thought, well, I'm here. I've invested and I need to take some action.
Yeah.
So I put it out to market, and I remember someone actually bought it.
It's like, holy crap, someone's purchased this thing.
I could not believe it. I still have this feeling now. I just went, oh my God, someone actually paid for that.
Yeah.
And so then it just evolved from there, and I realised that there was massive value in what I was doing. In fact, it was massively undervalued.
It was massively undervalued at that price.
I got the more success that I got, the more confidence I got, and I thought, right, I just kept putting it up really.
Yeah.
And it felt okay. And when it started feeling okay, I think I found my sweet spot now.
Yeah.
And it just, I have no qualms in telling people that it's a $2,000 program.
Yeah.
So from $750 to $2,000, and people just buy it. And the first time I marketed or sold it at talking to a client on the phone, a potential client, a lead, and she asked me how much it was, and this is the first time. I said it's $2,190. She said, "Yeah, I'm in. What do I do?" And I went,
"Yeah."
They're just paying it, and but it's worth it.
It is.
I realise the value, and they get the value.
Yeah.
And I've changed it a little bit. I've tweaked. I've upskilled. I've done lots of other things. So it's totally worth it, and I'm really happy, and it flows. It's quite easy to say now.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful how you just went out to the market, I think with your $750 sort of case study or pilot program.
Case study.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And you got your first, I don't know, was it 3 or 5 clients within the first 2 weeks, really?
Yep.
And I remember that post you put in our private group of your photo going, this is me. I've just sold 3 of my programs. And then within, I don't know, was it 9 or 11 weeks, because you did the 7 steps to 6 figures with us as well. By the end of that, I think you'd had 9 new clients go through it, and the testimonials were mind-blowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got some amazing testimonials.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I did. I followed my clients' journey, and I would post their success.
Yep.
And it was just, and that just gave me confidence
Yeah.
too. I knew it would work, but when you see it and when you hear it and when you feel it, and that just makes the whole difference.
Yeah. So if you are getting started, don't be afraid to go out there with a case study sort of price point, and then get those runs on the board like you did, and then you can gradually lift the price until, and Suzanne often says, and now they just buy it.
They do.
Just like that.
They do.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that, which is great because you've built the reputation and people know that they'll get results.
And I've had people say, look, I've researched you. I know you know your stuff.
Yeah.
Which is the value of niching.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk about some of the other strategies. We've sort of touched on you sharing testimonials, but I'd love you to share with us some of the key strategies that you think helped build your business from, holy crap, I'm scared to sell something to 750 to 6 figures in 12 months. Some months you're bringing in 20,000 or more.
Yes, I had an $18,000 month. Yeah.
And then the accountant saying, this is something we can sell for a really good price.
Yeah.
So what are your strategies for success around that?
Yeah. So definitely results-based and sharing that all over the place, social media, email marketing, which brings in referrals.
Yep.
I also get onto a podcast whenever I can.
Yeah, ta-da!
So if anyone is, and I've been approached to be on podcasts.
Yeah. Because you're positioned as an expert. You're in a niche. We know the space.
Yes. Yeah. And if anyone is trialling their own podcast, I will always put my hand up. It's about talking about what I do, and it gives me confidence to talk about what I do, and it gets more exposure and more word of mouth. So I also went to talk to gyms and, told them what I do from a weight loss space and hypnotherapy space. Hypnosis is very fascinating to many, many people, so it's a good foot in the door. I've also being part of your training courses and masterclasses, so I get opportunity to, talk more about what I do in front of new faces, and also some of the experts that you bring on board. So I was fortunate enough to work with Amy Springhall from the Edge PR company, who had an article that I wrote in one of your masterclasses. I wrote that article.
In the boot camp.
In the boot camp. And so that was published in Thrive magazine. Now, Thrive magazine is an online magazine, and it's run by Ariana Huffington from Huffington Post, a very famous UK paper. And I just was thrilled about that. So again, that's more exposure. I always follow your advice, Jodie, of course. And I also set up a goals club, so a weight loss goals club, which I've been running face-to-face. And because of COVID restrictions and things, we've only been able to do it in small numbers. But I've just gone into do it on the online space, and I love it. And it will be a rolling thing, and it will be recorded, and it will be part of, a value add to my private clients in the 6-week coaching program, but also for people to come on board.
And you can go national with that now, because at the moment you've got the reputation in Adelaide, but now this opens you up to go national, and then, as you say, even international.
I have one person from America who's actually because it's recorded, who's actually part of that online weight loss goals club.
So you're already international. That's brilliant. Not bad. Now, one of the things I really admire about you, Suzanne, is you invest in yourself. You invest in building your business. And when you worked with me, you signed up to our business builder program, and you said, I've got a goal to have made enough money in my business to pay for this by the time I'm done. Within 12 months, I think it was. I think you pay for it before you even started the program. But it's something you've become well known for amongst our community, is whenever you do a training program, you set yourself a target to pay for it. And you do that each time. So tell us about how you do that.
So I think the first time I did that was when I did my hypnosis course with Tony Everard Coaching, and that was quite a large financial investment for me. It was only $500.
Yeah, but it was whoa, big numbers.
That was a lot for me, and I needed to make that money back. And so I just booked in. I think I had 5 or up to 10 clients booked in within the first week of finishing the training. So I knew I was going to get $200 per client, I think, at that point. And so I paid that off quite easily. And
more than,
yes. And any of the other courses, I just thought, well, okay, if I'm going to invest in myself, I need to invest with intention on a return on investment, the old ROI, which I'm hearing more and more of. And I think that's important, because, you do put time and effort, and it takes time out of your business. So you need to get it back. You're worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and I love that you're very strategic about that. And often Suzanne will actually be in a workshop and she'll post out from that space about learning these new skills, bringing these to my community. Jump in if you want to experience them for a reduced rate. And I think that's a very clever strategy for people to do because you get immediate testimonials and runs on the board.
Yep. And because of, people know what I do, and if I'm doing something new, then, she's good at that.
Yep.
And let's try it. I'm open. This is new to me as well, and I'm learning.
And we're honest and transparent about that. You're not saying, "Hey, I'm a master at this now." You're saying, "Hey, I've got a new modality. Who wants to be a guinea pig?" Which is exactly what I did to start my business as well. Yeah. Love it. We have to touch on SEO and Google Ads because you've built a true predictable marketing machine in your business. Yeah. And I think this is very cool because it's what makes your business so saleable.
Yes.
Because you've got a predictable amount of money you can obviously spend on ads, which delivers you a certain amount of leads. You know how to convert them, yada, yada. So tell us about your success and maybe even some lessons learned with using Google Ads and SEO.
Yeah, so I had an interesting experience. So very fortunately, my son was a it's called a lead generator. So he was dabbling in Google and Google Ads, and so he kindly said, "Mum, let's see if we can get this up and running for you." Which he did, and I learnt some valuable lessons.
Yeah.
Google was just so amazing. I was getting, 5 to 6 leads a week.
And quality leads.
They're all quality leads.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him in terms of SEO marketing, and he set up my website, and the ads needed to align with the website. And the keyword strategies. So, I sort of researched what my clients were saying, their language, and we put that into the advertising. So, I'm talking to their problem.
Yeah.
And what I learned, and it was doing so well, and I was struggling to find time to call back the leads.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I got too many leads.
I know. And so then we did run into a little bit of a glitch because of my lack of understanding. A small part of it. And this was just part of a learning curve, and my ads were banned because I was too specific with the wording and numbers in terms of weight loss.
Yeah.
So, but fortunately, I'd still had momentum, which carried me through.
Yep.
So I'm in the process of, making lots of changes now, and Phil has his own other business, which is really, really busy. And so I'm working with the ads manager who've picked
Alicia.
Alicia, who's picked it all up for me. And it's just starting to, to fire off again, which is great. In fact, it was my birthday and I got 3 leads on one day on Saturday. And I spoke to one of those ladies today, $2,000 program. Just like that.
I love it. And, it's a really good, because I've had that same lesson learned. So when we first launched your program, it was called the 5-in-4 weight loss program, and it worked because it was results-based. But however, and we did the same, it's like the lifestyle business builder, how to go from 0 to 6 figures, and launched the 6-figure plan. But when you start paying for ads, the bots in Google, the bots in Facebook, lesson learned for everyone listening in, don't like that. And so don't be afraid to get to a point where you might have to change the name of your program and things. Would you say still it was a great thing to start out like that way and you just evolve, because the program evolves, we change the name, we grow with it. We've had to do the same.
Absolutely. And it hasn't been detrimental. It's been a good learning curve. And so, and I know that it works. I can turn the tap on. And I'm now about to invest in Facebook advertising too.
Have you done Facebook yet?
No.
Oh, well, giddy up. That's really turning on the tap in an even faster way sometimes.
Yes. So just about to invest in there. But
brilliant.
Definitely, for the $500 ad spend a month or something on Google, plus the management fees for one $2,000 return, it's a no-brainer. I used to say to Phil, how much are we spending on ads? He said, but Mum, how much are you making?
And I go, that's right. Absolutely. Well, Suzanne, you are an absolute inspiration to women out there who want to start a business, and particularly women who are getting to that point where they might be thinking, you know what, retirement's nearing. I don't want to go back to the cubicle in the office. I want to be financially free. You are ready to step into that space of pure retirement. So tell us, what does the future look like for Suzanne Ingleton and for the business, which is now the Weight Loss Coach?
Yeah, so this is particularly exciting for me because I had come from a space of overwhelm not that long ago, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know how am I going to survive. I got actually quite sick, and I wasn't managing my time properly. So I got my act together and did some work around that. Now I've got this work-life balance, but I'm planning for my future. So yes, retirement for me and for my partner Daryl is a happy wanderer, grey nomad.
Yeah.
We're going to buy a caravan and just travel, build a house on the marina at Wallaroo and just live our life, live our life. But the thing is, I'm not letting go of helping women. And I guess that's what was important to me. I wanted to be able to learn, to leave a legacy. And so the legacy is that my work can continue. I'm not unique in my space, and all it needs is someone with my skills to step in because I'm building a business in a box. So it will just be a walk in, start the engine and go. Because, it's important to me that this work continues. There are just so many women that I talk to. It's so brings me to tears sometimes. I really have to stop and take a breath and go, oh my goodness, this is just really awful for them. And it doesn't have to be. They don't have to be like this. And they can live their life and live a life that they want to live, not a life of misery and being stuck in a food prison and being on this, horrible dieting merry-go-round. It doesn't have to be like that. And I know that I can help them, and I know someone else with my skills can continue to do that. So that's my legacy. Health is my highest value. I can continue, I can be healthy for myself, live the life of my dreams, but I can also, help others and, carry on that sort of philosophy of health.
And Suzanne, because this is a podcast that speaks to people who either want to start a business or go into a business, there might be a woman out there who's listening thinking, oh my God, I want to be the one to step in and carry on that legacy. What skills do they need to be able to pick that up, and how should they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So hypnosis, that's a large part. So a hypnotherapist, a NLP practitioner, because that's a large part of the work that I do. Anyone with naturopathy. That's it.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that? Don't even talk about spelling it, but just saying it.
Eating psychology or some sort of psychology counselling, health and wellness background, I will help them with that side of it. But I guess, and their value needs to be health. Their highest value needs to be health, and coming from a space of empowering someone else to help themselves. Like I don't fix anybody. And the fact is that, I attract the people that can help themselves, because it's not a fixed thing. It's to do with process.
So and it's a letting go process as well. Like you said, it's the emotional weight getting released from often the mind, which then causes the body to let go of the stuff it's holding on to.
Yeah, absolutely. So someone that has a health and wellness background, absolutely, who is caring and is prepared to, put in some time and hours and some learning and commitment, obviously accountability to the client. But the fact is they don't have to build it.
I know.
I've done that.
Done, and the machine is set up, ready to go. It's tested, it's tweaked. The stuff is all set.
Exactly. So if they want to contact me at Your Inner Calm Coach. We'll
put the links below.
Yes, you'll put the links below.
Your Inner Calm Coach.
That's right. Your Inner Calm
email
Coach.
address.
At gmail.com. So that's where I can be contacted.
Excellent. Now, Suzanne, we have to wrap up with our rapid fire questions. Are you ready? She doesn't know what's coming, folks.
No, I'm scared.
The rules are, first thing that comes to your mind, and don't overthink it.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
Ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Number 1, what's your favourite movie of all time?
Ghost.
Oh, tell me why.
I think it's romantic.
Oh, you are a romantic heart. What did you want to be when you grew up?
A marine biologist.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
That is cool. What's a book you always recommend to people, and why?
It's not about the bike. This was a book by Lance Armstrong, and I read this when I had breast cancer. And that was one of the catalysts for me to make a healthy mind state change around cancer. So
it's not about the bike by Lance Armstrong. Thank you for that. Amazing. What skills do you think we need to get better at teaching kids?
health comes to my mind. It's just looking after themselves. Healthy mind, healthy body.
Love it. Love it. What are you learning right now?
Oh,
probably lots.
Yes, to use my mind.
Yeah,
to be on the fly and to be very to articulate. And this is something that I need to do, is to get better at articulating what's in my head to come out.
Brilliant. Well, lucky you'll be at the Speakers Masterclass on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes.
And by the way, can I say you've done a bloody good job of articulating through this podcast.
Thank you.
It's been such an amazing episode.
Thank you.
So much gold. What's the best thing about being in business for you?
I have to say, the first thing that comes to my mind is the women that I work with, the women, the women that I've grown with in business. So you, Jodie, and the 7 Effect and the lifestyle business building community, the amazing women and friends that I have made.
Yeah, what a family we are.
We are, absolutely. And I'm not doing it on my own, which I was before. And I guess that is a huge huge flag to get some coaching, to get in with a group of women who can help and support you.
I got goosebumps because we've shared so many fun times and so many beautiful times, and there's been tears and laughter as a collective, and it's really beautiful that's one of the things you love the most.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And my last question: if I gave you $100 million to launch any business you wanted, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be an educational health business, something that educates people on health and wellness from a mind space, not just food. So it's overall mind health, body health.
Which is pretty much the business you've built.
That's right.
Well done. Suzanne Ingleton, thank you so much for being an amazing guest on You Could Start a Business Doing That. You've certainly started a great business. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jodie.
The number one reason people go into business is to break free, but instead they often burn out. That's why we created Freedom Fest, the 3-day planning retreat that gives you a 12-month planning system for life and business that will set you free. Trade meetings for moments, stress for sunsets, and long hours for Long Island iced teas. Get your tickets at freedomfest.com.au.